Hey guys, what's up? It's AB Trades here, and we're going to do our weekly video called the Sunday Stock Talk. If you're new here, I'm AB Trades, and I teach people how to day trade options. Every Sunday between 5, around 6, 7, depending on the time CST, I will break down the top stocks requested in our free Discord group chat. If you want to join that group chat, please click the link below, first link in the description. And now let's get on to the video. As always, we start off with SPY, which is the S&P 500 ETF. This is one of the most liquid options tables, and it combines a lot of the top stocks that we trade. So we can find the direction of SPY, we can usually find the direction of the market and other stocks to trade like Apple, Facebook, Netflix, etc. So looking here at SPY, we've been testing this resistance region in between 280 and 281. Friday we kind of had a push up into it, and then we had a flush down, and then we showed some strength. If we want to look at what's currently happening, the current price action of SPY or the S&P 500, we can go -ES on our TOS platform, and it'll bring up ES futures. So if we look here, we're going to go to a 15-minute to get a better outlook on it. If you can see here, this has been our resistance zone. We've been around 281.13, right? Let's go back to the daily just to show a quick look here. So this has been our resistance zone. Now we're actually starting to test into it. So we're actually finally starting to try to push above this previous level here. You can see that we're showing some strength here on ES so far. But again, we have a long overnight session, and it is Sunday, so we don't have much volume. But we are gapping up. So maybe overnight we expect a little gap down and a push up. But anyways, let's go and look at SPY a bit closer. Oops, SPY. Alright, so let's go out on the daily to get our confirmation of our long-term trends. So we can see here we do have this uptrend rising on SPY. We're gapping into this region. So far ES is picking up a bit. If ES continues to hold the level it's at, we'll be up above or near this region. If we are up above this region here on SPY, we'll be looking to go long all the way up to 292 to make these new highs. Why? Because we have a crucial resistance point here, right? Resistance, 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 resistance. Now we're going to make another resistance. So that's huge, and that's something that we're going to have to watch out for here on SPY. So if we're looking, we have this resistance, and so what we will be expecting, at least for this week, is maybe a push up through this level, right, above 281, 282, a pullback to retest this, and then a push up higher. So we're looking for a push up, pull back, retest, right? So that will be our assumption for SPY. However, if we get rejected here and we can't hold this level and we come back to retest and we break through, then we'll be looking to target this next support zone. Alright guys, we're going to look at the stocks that y'all mentioned in the group chat first. So if you can see here, first stock mentioned, Roku. R-O-K-U. So if we're looking here at Roku, we're holding above. I really don't like how these are so not straight, but I'm not OCD in all things, but I like to see straight lines, especially when you're trading, you want to see the straight line. But if you can see here, we're holding up above this level of 65.42, and we're showing some strength. So we saw this push up, this retest here on this red candle, and now we're seeing some green. So I would expect a retest of the high on Roku of 77.57. Next stock mentioned, Amazon and Tesla. So Amazon here, we're finally starting to hold a trend, right? Hold this uptrend that we were looking at. If you can see here, we're holding this trend up to the upside, and we're starting to get some movement up. If you look at volume here, volume starting to pick up as well. That's a good sign. Volume and green. We can definitely start to retest these previous highs here at around 1730. Especially with SPY starting to pick up, Amazon will have a good green move up. And if it doesn't, expect to pull back to this trend line. So either push up or pull back to trend line and bounce or fail. It just depends. Next stock we're looking at is Tesla. So Tesla here, again, our crucial resistance point, our crucial resistance now that it's under it is 300. So we'll be looking for 300. If we can get, if we don't continue to go up, like if we don't try to reverse here, then our next support is going to be around here at 282.30, 282, 283, this area right here. Then our midpoint right here is 300 with a strong resistance at 320. All right, next is PG and MSFT. So PG here, Procter & Gamble. As you can see here on the long term, right, we're trending up. We have this channel up, break, channel up, break, up. Right, So we're currently in the up and we're looking for a pullback, right? We're in the pullback and our first top here comes into play at around 96.90, 96.80, whatever. So we'll be looking for a pullback into this range and then seeing what we can do from there. So again, it looks like it's starting to slow down. The red candles are starting to slow down. Volume's starting to pick up. So it wouldn't surprise me if with the market we start to see a bounce up here on PG. So Procter & Gamble starts to see a bounce. That won't surprise me. But again, if not, we have support right here that we're going to wait to retest. Next is MSFT being Microsoft. So as you see here, we were bouncing off this trend line. Now we're playing into this area of resistance here in between 111, and 113.25. So this is our level that we're watching. If we can break above, then we'll be looking to retest the high. If we break down, then we'll be looking to break down lower, down to the next support around 105. Next stock mentioned is AMD. AMD, if we can see here, is holding this trend line, right? We're holding a nice trend. We're making it to the upside. We're retesting $25 mark, which is showing that, hey, we actually have some room to the upside. So what we can see here is we can get this 1, 2, 3 test break up higher, also basically an ascending triangle pattern where we have this previous uptrend. We have this range of consolidation as volume starts to consolidate. Then as volume starts to consolidate, we wait for it to squeeze right here at around 25. Then the volume picks up and we look for a breakup higher. That's what I would expect on AMD, a squeeze with volume, pick up, and then a brush up higher to eventually test new highs. NVIDIA here we're looking at, again, we're holding this trend line here. We're starting to find some support. Volume's still super low, which means we're still expecting something big to happen. So we just passed through the dividend on 228 at the beginning of last week. So we should have nothing stopping it now. Again, with the market turning green, we may see this be green, but just know that we have a zone right here in between the highs of 165.60 and the lows of 153.66. So just watch for consolidation in that point and a break up or a break below. Next stock mentioned is Facebook. Facebook still showing some support at 162.50 is where it's showing its resistance, and below that at 160 is where it's showing support. So again, our zone to watch out for, if I can remove these as they're no longer necessary, is between 160 and 162.50. So if we break below 162.50, our next support will be at 156. If we break above 162.50, we're going to retest 166 and then even up higher to 160, whatever. So as you can see here, just watch 162.50 and watch 160. After that, our next stock will be Apple, AAPL. Apple was mentioned here, and we're getting what we were looking for in initially. We're looking for this uptrend here, cup, handle, breakout. Also note 1, 2, the third time we're going to get that breakout. Again, volume starting to extend, SPY starting to pick up. If we can break above this high here at around 175.93, 176, we will get that break higher on Apple and eventually retest all these supports that we made on the way down. So just look for that squeeze into the zone, watch for volume to pick up, and watch for SPY to be green, and Apple will take off. Next stock mentioned is BA. BA is Boeing making all-time highs here. So again, we hit that high of $446. Again, I've been saying watch those whole number levels, and then we got that pullback. So this may start our pullback here. We may start to see some more of a pullback, maybe back down to 430, something where our last red candle was, until we see that push up higher. Again, the market being green may push it higher, but I would expect a pullback. As you can see, normal pullbacks is like this, pullback up, right? Pullback, 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 right? We haven't really seen much of a pullback on the way up on Boeing quite yet, except for this first initial one at 410. So now that we're up at 446, it would be nice to see a little pullback before we continue up. Next stock that we're looking at is JD. JD is looks like we're kind of showing some room to the upside here. Volume is definitely picking up based off the earnings report. It looks like we are green. Don't see any gaps to fill, sadly, but if you can see here, we have a resistance point that we tried to test here on Friday. Let's see if we can get it perfectly. $29 is basically that resistance point that we're watching. Our wick got into 29 and then shot down, which means we may be seeing this as a reversal point. If we get above, then we'll be looking for the next resistance to be at around 31. So if you can see here, we're watching 29. If we can look at the price action, actually, if we go in the 5-day, 5-minute, if you can see here, it looks like we kind of broke above that region pre-market and then fell down, and then we actually consolidated on this region before. So it looks like we're actually showing some strength. So if we can get above this level, then we'll definitely be seeing some upside momentum on JD. Next stock mentioned is being SQ or Square. SQ Square, so it looks like here we had volume pick up on this huge movement being the earnings report, and then we got that flush down. So what I can see here is some more consolidation or maybe a flush down. I don't see too much strength to the upside right now, so I'll be watching the levels of 78.45 and even higher of 80.34. So just watch that levels on the way up to see if we can get there. If not, I think we're going to fall. So it looks like here I'm going to try to cover the rest of the stocks because I think I've been taking too long as we're going already into the 10-minute mark. If you can see here on Garmin, never traded Garmin, look at the trade tab real quick, make sure we have something here that we can trade. Volume too low, skipping. Next stock, CMG, that is Chipotle. Volume good, open interest is good, but the spread is never good on this, so I'm going to skip it. FXI. We see here volume good, open interest good, spread good. All right, sweet. Let's take a look at this. So here's iShares BlackRock Large Cap China ETF. All right, that makes sense. So because this is the China ETF, we're not going to have a lot of data for pre-market and aftermarket. So we're not really going to have this data showing. You can see all of the gaps. But if you can see here, we have resistance range here. We have support range here. We're kind of bumping up into this resistance zone, and we're seeing this pullback here. China's seeing some increased volatility because of the trade deals at the moment. But again, we may see some resistance into this level here of around $45, forming that double top and coming back down, or we'll break above and get higher. EAT, never traded this stock before, never heard of this stock, so I want to make sure I look at the options tab first. Again, just monthly, no volume, not going to trade. Okay, I know these two, GPS and KO. Actually, Gap. Actually, I never traded this. Let's go back to charts. Volume, decent. Spread is way too large. We're going to skip that, but I know the next stock is good. Next stock mentioned is KO. So Coca-Cola here, we're finding some support in this region. Here we kind of saw a little bit of an indecisive candle on Friday, but we're still holding this level of support. So watch this level of support. If we drop below, then we have room to drop down. If we continue to bounce, we have a gap to fill. Next stock, Nvidia, already covered that. SPY and Netflix, please. Already covered SPY. Let's cover Netflix real quick. NFLX. Netflix here, we're kind of trying to bump into this 370 resistance here, but we're getting failed. Volume starting to die out, showing that we're not really going to pick up through this level. So watch Netflix slowly start to fall off to our next support of 340 and eventually 320. So as you can see here, we don't have much volume. We're getting up into a resistance, so we might start to roll over here. Next stock we're going to mention is MU, Micron. So MU here, we're holding this, if you can see here, this up channel here where we're bouncing here. So just wait for it to find some more momentum to the upside until we test the high resistance here at around $45, 46 maybe. Let's see what else we have. We're just going to scroll through the chat right now. It looks like I see nothing else except Wow ES is pushing. Yes, we covered that. Alright guys, that was the Sunday Stock Talk. Thank you all for watching. Please like and comment and subscribe, and see y'all for our daily breakdown videos tomorrow night.